Welcome back. It's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Thanks for joining us again. Our guest is Ed Reyes. Mr. Reyes is a member of the Los Angeles City Council. Sir, we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Brad.
I think it's fair to say Angelenos desperately want a football team, and every few years we think it's going to happen. Maybe this time around. We know that AEG, a significant conglomerate, is working with the city to build a new stadium, a $1 billion venture. Talk to me about what we now know as the Farmers Field Football Stadium.
Well, one, we have a very strong push from the private sector under the stewardship of Tim Laiwiki, AEG. There is an amazing leveraging opportunity here in that we can replace our convention center. It's an aging building, 50 years old, $50 million worth of improvements. So here we can leverage our property, build a new convention center, while building a facility that will be an event center.
That being said, I think a lot of folks are concerned that tax dollars will be spent to finance this center. Now, we hear that's not going to be the case,
Right.
but there seems to be a lot of jockeying about who's going to pay for which bond and how the bond will be paid for, so be honest.
Well, we are going to be given an assessment, a review by our Chief Legislative Analyst Office and our accounting office, and they're going to tell us in black and white what is real and what isn't. We have yet to see those numbers. What I see happening today is an environment being created, an environment that speaks to just how friendly we are as a city, and then there's another environment that's emerging saying, it's very cynical, saying we don't want to spend any tax dollar. And quite frankly, no one knows enough now to be very clear about that.
But I guess what I'm wondering is, has the train left the station to the extent that whatever the LAO says, it doesn't matter, they're going to get environmental law waivers because it's just the politicians want it so badly that they're just going to make it happen?
Well, I'll put it this way. Our opportunity cost is pretty great. We need jobs. We need to find a way to continue building our revenue base. Our general fund is in the millions as far as shortage.
When you talk about jobs, there are those that believe that while a field may create jobs, the reality is it really displaces jobs. It's not a net gain, it just moves jobs from Westwood or Orange County into the Farmers Field.
Well, if I look at all the folks that are working around LA Live, and I ask them, where do you live? They live in the neighborhoods. They live in the area. They're living in Pico Union, South Central, South LA. These are areas that are suffering high levels of poverty, and they desperately need
So you believe
jobs.
it will be a net gain for jobs?
Given what I've seen, and given the folks that are benefiting in the area, I believe it does.
I got to ask you about traffic. I take the 10 east, and I get on the 110 north to get to downtown. The 10 east, 5-6 lanes, and it literally breaks down into 1 or 2 lanes, and that's where the stadium would be. Please tell me that if you build this stadium, you're going to increase that bottleneck, because it's outrageous.
I think the access is going to be worked on. I can't tell you we're going to widen the freeway because I'd be lying to you, but I do believe that we can have an opportunity to build on-ramps and off-ramps that can get that flow going even quicker. My wishful thinking, I'm not saying they're going to do this, but my wishful thinking would be that on-ramps, off-ramps actually get into the parking structure directly. That we alleviate the local circulation and it flows enough or you don't have that backup. But regardless, during peak hours, you're going to have
but to go from 6 lanes to 2
Well,
into downtown, I mean, what other major city does that?
Right. Now, I think part of the equation here is understanding the economic multiplier effect here. How much are we giving up when we have so much resistance? Not only in terms of an improved convention center, this is not just a football stadium, this is an event center.
Of course.
So we're talking about year-round opportunities.
Ed Reyes, thanks for joining us. He's an LA City Council member. I'm Brad Pomerance. Back to HLN.